Hey everybody. So I wanted to follow up with another video from the one I put out earlier, and that's dealing with Amy Cooper and Christian Cooper. Christian Cooper was the bird watcher, the African American man who was in Central Park, and this white woman threatened to, or she actually did, call the cops on him. And when I put out the video, I noticed almost immediately a lot of black women in the comments immediately went into, that's not my problem, I'm taking the cape off. And I saw a lot of that, and I understand. I wanted to do this video because I want you to know I understand why you have that sentiment, and it's sad. I get why you are tired. I get why you're tired of putting the cape on for black men who don't reciprocate, right? Black women are always on the forefront of causes, everybody's causes, which is why I said I don't participate in white feminism, because I felt like black women were also participating in that when that wasn't our fight. But I do understand why you may feel exactly the same way when it comes to black men. For all we know, he could have a Karen at home. That man could have a Karen at home. And immediately, that's where a lot of us, we go right to that thinking, right? We go right to that, well, why should I put my neck out on the line for this man when he probably wouldn't jump if the shoe was on the other foot and a white woman was harassing a black woman, he wouldn't flinch, right? So we move right into that way of thinking because more often than not, it's true. So like I said, when I saw the women down in the comments saying, listen, that's not, that ain't got nothing to do with me, I was torn because I also, while I understand exactly what they mean and why they are tired, I also have a household that has a black son. And so why I get why you don't want to fight and why you wouldn't be, compelled to even try to enter into that argument, that fight, that battle for yet another black man. Also, I'm torn because I wouldn't want that to happen to a black man that I know that love black women. So I get it. And it sounds like I said, for the most part, a lot of black women are exhausted. I could hear the exhaustion in your comment. And so I just wanted you to know I get why you feel the way you do. And so black men, you have to ask yourself why black women are giving up on protecting you and what you have or haven't done to make them feel like they can't count on you when it counts, when it comes to situations like that. Because listen, to be truthfully honest, every time there is something going on, black women are the first ones to show up. They are the first ones on the front line. Now, this video isn't in an effort to further put a wedge between black men and black women. But I want you to understand a couple of things. First things first is that I heard you. I heard you, black women, and I can hear your exhaustion. I know why you're tired. But how do we move forward? What do we do? What do we do when every case is different? What do we do when we see something happening? Like, for instance, in Minneapolis, I saw a story this morning come out that a cop pretty much had his knee in a black man's back for 9 minutes. His circulation was cut off. When do you know when to fight? When do you know when to stand back? And when do you know when is a good time to fight? When do you know? How do you know? That's difficult, and it shouldn't have to be. And so I feel like the onus lies at the foot of the black man at this point. Because if black women could depend on you, if black women felt like you would fight for them the way we go out of our way to fight for you, then Black women wouldn't be in the comments saying, that's not my problem. And that's how they're feeling right now. And like I said, it's very unfortunate, but I didn't want to ignore it because I saw it. And, you know, it's possible that he was one of those Black men who thought like, well, because, you know, I saw an article saying, well, he's Harvard educated and things like that. Maybe he assumed because, you know, he has the education in the background that maybe, you know, she wouldn't treat him that way. Because, you know, we do have a group of people, a group of Blacks who feel like class kills race. Like if you are at this certain elevation and you have this much education or you make this much money, well, they're not going to look at you the way they look at, you know, everybody else, the Black men. But he quickly found out that that's not true, right? But again, that's a lot of assumptions that I'm making about this man. But like I said, I just wanted to make it clear that I understand why Black women are tired of fighting. You know, Black women, I don't know how we earn this title. I do get why we earn this title. It comes from a long time ago. Why we are labeled as strong and how we always have to be strong for everybody. And for the most part, I feel like that's wrong because it doesn't allow us to be vulnerable. It doesn't allow us to feel. We always have to be strong for our men. We have to be strong for our women. We have to be strong and put on a strong face for ourselves and not let anybody see us fall, see us break. And so that being said, it's always assumed that we have to take up the fight for everybody, and everybody doesn't necessarily deserve our help. I just don't want a further gap between Black men and Black women. But I feel like Black men, you gotta figure out and understand why Black women are feeling the way they're feeling about that and why they don't want to keep showing up for you. They don't want to keep caping for you. They don't want to keep constantly getting out there, standing on the front lines in front of the bullets for you when you don't reciprocate that. Right? And so I, you know, after I did the video and I saw the comments, I said, well, gosh, you know, I don't want people to think that I don't understand that. I just feel a bit torn only because having a Black man, raising a Black man, having raised a Black man, I don't want something like this to happen to him when I have taught him to love Black women and he has a Black woman. And so I don't want that to be a blanket thing like, well, we're not going to cape for him because he might be, you know, when does a Black man show up for us? Well, I don't want them not to ever be able to depend on Black women again or us to just stand down every time something happens because, you know, truth of the matter is that's how shit happens and people kind of get away with a lot of shit, right? Because they know that they can count on Black women. They know that they can count on the Black woman to show up and to fix it, right? Because Black women are magical like that. But the exhaustion is real. Being tired is a real thing. Being tired of always being the strong one, to be the one to show up, that's a real thing. And so Black men, I think you have to, you know, see what this is and understand why Black women are feeling the way they feel and show up for us more. And I know people are going to be upset because they're going to feel like, oh, this is a hating Black man thing. No, it's not. And with Black women, I heard you. But I don't also, like I said, I'm just asking you, when do we show up? Like, how do you pick and choose when to show up? And I really am asking a valid question. That's not to be, to put you on the defensive. I'm just asking, when do we show up? How do we know when it's the right time to put the cape on? So I just wanted to follow up with this video. Let me know what you guys think. And I just want, ladies, I heard you. I heard you loud and clear. I'll see you guys on the next video.